I am the author of a book on the Song of Solomon called The Unseen Husband. Now, the first question for anyone looking over the Song of Solomon will be, how should we treat this book? Is it a love story? Well, yes, of course it is. But what kind of love story? Who are these two lovers? I think the answer must be that it cannot be just a love story. Certainly not just a human love story. God has to come into it somewhere, because otherwise nobody would have bothered collecting it among the books of the Bible. The whole point of the Old Testament is that every part of it is doing something to help us to understand the God of Israel. So the books of the law are not just legal textbooks. They are telling us about the kind of God who wants these things from his people. The books of history are not just telling us what happened. They are telling us about the kind of God who does these things among his people. And in the same way, the Song of Solomon will be the kind of love story that helps us to understand something about the God of Israel. It has to be. There is one vital clue which must be well known to anyone who reads the Bible. There is a covenant between God and his people Israel. And this covenant is like a marriage bond. In effect, God and his people are husband and wife. That's why in Israel they fall into idolatry. It's like a wife who is falling into adultery. The prophets are always telling her, your husband will throw you out if you're not careful. There is a love story that can be found in the Song of Solomon. It's about the love between husband and wife. More specifically, it's the story of a wife who believes that she has lost her husband, that he has abandoned her. How could that happen? The answer is in one word: Babylon. Babylon destroyed the kingdom, destroyed Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, and took the people into exile. That's when they began to feel despair. That God had given them up at last. He divorced them. The covenant had been broken, they think. And that's the background of this poem. The first half is about the state of nostalgia. The young wife, Israel, looks back on the happy times when she met her Lord and fell in love, and they became husband and wife. Then comes the state of despair in the middle of the book, when she wakes up in the night and can't find him, and she seems to have lost him for good. And it's all her own fault, because she was neglecting him. That's the traumatic experience of the Babylonian exile. The rest of the book is a kind of dialogue. On the one hand, the distressed wife telling other people about her love, her missing husband. On the other hand, the persevering, faithful husband standing by her side, telling her how much he loves her and continues to love her. The trouble is that she can't see him. In her own mind, and only in her own mind, she stands alone. She can only find him again when she learns to recognize his voice. But she will find him again, that's a promise. That's the love story in the Song of Solomon. It's the only one that fits the whole book. And if you get hold of a copy of The Unseen Husband, that's the book that will tell you more about it.